6:30. I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order, and I'll open with a prayer and then ask you to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Lord, thank you for this pretty morning you've given us. You've given us rain, and Lord, it will soon be time for those who want to get in the fields and get some hay put up. We're just thankful, Lord, that you provide in all situations. Lord, it's just a privilege to be here this morning and just to commit our works to you. And Lord, ask you to guide us through the meeting this morning, and as we take up a road trip this afternoon, and we look at evaluating some of our roads here in the county. We just ask for your presence to be with us in all of this. And Lord, be my prayer that everything that we say and do here this morning would be pleasing and would honor your holy name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, maybe so. First thing I need to do is I need to ask for to amend the agenda. There's two things that needed to get on there that I failed to get on there when it was time to publish the agenda. The first thing I would like to ask the commission to amend would be we need the library appointment this morning, or Brett. And then also we have the final numbers and the final applications to approve on the senior tax credit. With that, I would entertain a motion to amend the agenda as presented.
Motion to amend the agenda as presented.
I'll second it.
Okay, that motion second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Also same sign. Okay, so we've amended the agenda. Now we'll get with the minutes for May 26th, and I do have a change there on a vote that was taken. It was recorded that I was a yes vote. I was a no vote, and that's the only thing that I seen there. Mm-hmm. So with that change, then I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes for May 26th.
Motion to approve the minutes for May 26th with the change.
Second it.
Okay, motion second to approve the minutes as changed. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, great. Next, we have department updates, and Randy, I started with you this morning, so you have the floor.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Seniority.
Thank you.
Okay.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. I asked Brett to come in and assist me on this for a couple reasons. One, I know that all three of you have had some questions about the state disaster declaration and how we get to there and why we weren't in it so far, et cetera, et cetera. And so I'm gonna have Brett do a synopsis on that so you better understand what the rules are of FEMA today, maybe change tomorrow. And then also he's gonna give a short update, I hope, on the World Cup, which is gonna be upon us here in about 2 weeks. And then I'm gonna release him if he wants to. He can stay if he wants, but he's got a ton of paperwork. And then I'll give you my short update. So at this time, I'm gonna ask Brett to talk a little bit about the declaration and how it could affect us, hasn't so far, and just kind of answer their questions if they have some.
Yeah.
Please.
Absolutely. So my name is Brett Hendrix. I live here in Laclede County. My office is across the street. Work for State Emergency Management Agency. There's 6 counties that I work in, so primarily in and out of those 6 counties. I-44 corridor up from basically Conway up to Sullivan. That's kind of my area here. Whenever we have a FEMA declaration, so there's 2 main programs that FEMA utilizes. They're reimbursement-based programs. Public assistance, which that's money that goes directly towards government entities, police departments, fire departments, county road and bridge, things like that. In order to get FEMA public assistance, we have to hit 2 thresholds. One is the state threshold, $12 million in infrastructure damage. And then we have to hit a county threshold. Varies for each county. It's about $5 per capita. For Laclede County, it's about $175,000. So typically after we have any sort of storms, those folks all know they need to report that stuff up to Randy. Once we feel like, hey, we've got over $175,000 in potential damages here, we report that up to the state. Whenever the state's like, hey, we're looking at $12 million plus, they start this process where they bring FEMA in to look a little bit closer at that paperwork. So the second program is what's called individual assistance. That is funding directly for people. Individual assistance usually a little bit harder to come by. There is no set threshold. This is all set by the Stafford Act. It's set by the federal government. Congress up there passes that legislation. There's no set threshold for individual assistance, but typically requires 100 homes with major damage or more, major or destroyed damage, 100 throughout the state. And then generally, again, no set threshold, but we typically look at 5 to 10 houses in a county, and we'll start that trigger up. This is the first time, I've been with the state for 20 years, this is the first time I've ever done it for hail damage. Usually hail is insured. What we saw there in Springfield, I was in Springfield for a couple of weeks, kind of helping them out. Lots of homes with major damage. Hail was so bad up there that it actually went through the roofs of some homes. A lot of those were in mobile home parks. When we talk about major damage, my home got hit by the hail damage. If you ask me or my wife, it's major, but for those official definitions, major typically is something where the home is going to be uninhabitable for 30 days. So in a mobile home, any sort of leak that you get, the assumption is there's water damage, there's mold damage. That's what they saw there in Springfield. Over 120 homes had what they call major damage. We didn't have any here in Laclede County. I know there's several homes with minor damage, but it doesn't rise to that level of what we would consider major damage. So for both of those things, the county did not hit the threshold. I'm not aware of any that had major damage. But one of the things is if we do get that declaration, that's all been submitted up there to the federal government. We're waiting to hear back. If it is approved, there's a process there where we can do what's called an add-on county. So, in the next few weeks or maybe in a month or two, if we do get that declaration, you guys are starting to hear more specifics about maybe some damage.
You've had some calls, haven't you? On the damage.
Yeah, and again, like remember, it's in order to get to that FEMA level, it's got to be major damage. So if you're aware of any, you want us to run out and just do a drive-by, kind of take a look and see if it if it raises to that level. But typically we're talking storm damage where major issues to a roof or to a wall. Typically we see it with floods. If the water gets up to 18 inches, which they use 18 inches because that's where the electrical outlets are set up. So again, it's a complicated process. I apologize for that. It is what it is. There's all sorts of talks about reform. You guys probably seen that in the news, trying to speed this up. Hopefully that's the case. I've been with a lot of FEMA folks the past month. Just got back from northern Missouri up in Grundy County. Had to help out with some damage assessments up there for some flood damage. All the FEMA folks I've talked to are pretty optimistic that we're going to see some changes where hopefully this is a lot quicker. Randy's been doing this just about as long as I have. We've heard that before, but I mean, we're hopeful. We're hopeful we get there. Just some states have taken FEMA for a ride before, and fortunately, we've never really had any history of that anywhere in Missouri, but we kind of sometimes pay the punishment for that with all the paperwork that's there. So I would really say on the 175,000, it's possible, like the thing we saw in Springfield, say you've got $5,000 deductible on cars, and this took out 200 cars. That's $1 million. So that's kind of how this stuff can add up. Fortunately, ours here in Laclede wasn't quite that bad. But if you start hearing from fire departments or you start hearing from PD or sheriff's department that those deductibles were higher than we thought, let us know. If it gets to that 175, we can potentially do an add-on. But it is a lot of paperwork that's involved with that. So, sometimes people are like, no, it's not worth the paperwork. We'll just take it out of this budget. We see that sometimes as well. So that's just a quick down and dirty. That's just a quick rundown. With classes on this, that's like an 8-hour class, kind of condensed down to 5 or 10 minutes. Trying to save you guys from that. But said I'm right across the street. If you guys ever have any questions, happy to kind of help and get that squared away. On the World Cup stuff, just real brief. So that's starting real soon. Going to be 6 matches in Kansas City. State's been working on this for a couple of years. Honestly, we operate under what's called emergency support functions. So we divide a disaster down into any of the potential entities that might have a role: transportation, communication, law enforcement, firefighter, on and on and on. State's been doing a ton of exercises these past couple of years. They're going to be activated with all of those state emergency support function partners for all of those match days. We're expecting quite a few foreign folks there for those matches. Going to be a pretty big deal. Obviously, we hope everything goes great, but they're going to be ready just in case we don't. There's cybersecurity attacks, any sort of domestic terrorism type stuff or international terrorism. They're going to be ready to roll. Obviously, biggest thing too is weather. You know, they're not used. I saw where the team from Argentina got to Kansas City a couple days ago, 2 a.m. that night, they had a tornado warning. So, you know, just things that they're not quite used to. So big outreach there as far as interpreter services, things like that. So state's going to be very active. You'll probably see a lot of highway patrol folks doing some mutual aid up there, kind of helping out. I'm technically on standby, so if somebody's sick or they need me to run up there and work in emergency operations center, could be there. But for now, should be business as usual for us. Not seeing a whole lot of tourism impacts for our area, but might have some folks that they say the Europeans really love Route 66 stuff. So, you know, on their days off, they might be down here, which is great. You know, we could use those tourism dollars. So, but it's kind of what's going on there. 6 matches. The first one is June 16th. They're kind of every 3-4 days after that. Really, the big ones are going to be in July. That's where you get to what they have. It's playoffs, you know, where you're going to see really big teams and probably a little bit of extra attention. So something to keep an eye on. But again, we hope they come down here and spend some money. But not seeing really any huge impacts, I would say, so far. So
They've rented some properties around Warsaw to set up some, I'm just going to say, I'm going to call them like Woodstock type camps. You know, so that's what's Warsaw, an hour and a half from here, maybe, or an hour. So we will get some of that, you know, but I'm unaware of them doing anything in our area, renting farmland or anything like that. Warsaw is the closest to here. So, yeah. Thank you. I think that's good.
Any other questions or anything? Just cross the street, always, Randy.
I think, Brett, the question I have, and you touched on it, but for clarity, on the individuals who've had damage and they have private insurance, you mentioned something about deductibles. Can you elaborate on that? Because my understanding that if they have private insurance, that it's unlikely FEMA would pick the deductible up. Is that true?
Correct. And let me clarify, when I'm talking about the deductibles there, that's on that public assistance side.
Okay.
Rules are a little bit different for entities.
Okay.
And again, it's a thing I stress all the time. We talk in emergency management about mitigation. Mitigation is steps that we take to make sure that when this disaster hits, it's not as bad. Best form of mitigation is private insurance. It just really is. So, you know, I encourage folks, I don't think we ever thought, you know, we have a hailstorm that knocks out a fleet of 200 vehicles, just one of those things that we don't think of. So, but when we're talking about that public assistance side for the government entities, those deductibles could be tied towards public assistance.
Okay.
Individual assistance, again, rules are weird. They've changed quite a bit in the last 4 or 5 years. It's hard for me to kind of keep up with them. But the average FEMA payout for individual assistance is $2,000. So, you know, just try and keep that stuff in mind, that it's typically not a program that rebuilds houses. It's a program that gets you back on your feet for a month or two while you got to stay in a hotel or, you know, you've got other costs like that. So, you know, and again, I'm covering a lot at you, but I appreciate that question. It's a good one. Typically on that individual assistance side, if you've got insurance, that's it. So, yeah.
Thanks, Brett.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And the last question I have for you is to give the commission, if you can, a quick, very short synopsis on EMPG grant.
Yeah.
If you have it from yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. So EMPG grant, that's the Emergency Management Performance Grant. It's a grant we get from FEMA. For the most part, pays for emergency manager's salary. Pays half my salary, pays half of Randy's salary.
They don't pay me.
Well, yeah. We've received the funding, so we're still operating under 2025 funding. You know, one of the things that's happened the past year, there's been a lot of talk about FEMA changes. There's been a hold that's been placed on our funding. All of that funding is tied based on population. My understanding is the hold was kind of based on some issues that the administration had with the 2020 census, that numbers weren't right, that it was impacting the dollars that were going to certain states. It's been put on hold. We expect that hold to get lifted any day. I just talked to Jeff City this morning. They got some correspondence yesterday. They felt was pretty optimistic that hold's going to get lifted real soon. As soon as the hold gets lifted, that money that we're waiting on that has been technically awarded to Laclede County would be opened up. So Tina over there at O.E.M, she's got all the paperwork ready as soon as they open it to start filing that stuff. I mean, I can tell you right now, it's federal government. We're still waiting on the official thing, but I'm confident we're going to get it sooner rather than later, because the end of our fiscal year is June 30th. So we got to get it by then. So I'm confident it will. Hopefully, I get some good news for you later this week. But as of now, we're still in that holding pattern, waiting for them to lift that hold. So,
Thank you, Brett.
yeah, absolutely. You're thinking?
Pardon me?
Sorry, you look like you're going to ask a question.
No.
All right.
Yeah.
But as soon as I know something, Randy will know, and I'm sure he'll keep you guys updated. So,
All right, good job.
Yep.
Any questions?
all right. Thanks, guys.
You
Appreciate it.
bet. Thanks again, Brett. Good to see you.
Back to
Thank
your
you.
paperwork.
Appreciate it. Yep. We'll
See you,
Randy.
Randy. Thank you.
See you, Linda.
So I know you've got a long ways to go today, so I'll try to make this 2 minutes, Joe.
Yeah. Uh-huh. You want to close your clock?
So, he knows better than to try that. So, as far as O.E.M goes, we have never, since I've been here, I don't know how many years that is, more than 10, probably close to 13. We've never been better staffed with qualified people than we are right now. I just want to tell you that. Have a great team. Everybody works well together. We've practiced. We're ready. If something does go down, when something does go down, I think that you'll see a good team in action. And you guys were part of assembling that team. And I just want to say thank you for that. It's working better than it's ever worked. It's everybody knows their lane. Everybody stays in their lane, and we're ready to roll in case we get something in the short term or long term. You got the timer on, I know.
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
Somebody trying to call.
All right. So
Typical.
our vehicles are all over 10 years old, but they're all they're excellently maintained. They're all in good shape. You know, I don't anticipate any vehicle problems for the rest of the year and farther. The generators are in good shape. We run them regularly. Our budget is in line. It's we're almost half a year in, and I think we're at 39-point-something%. So I don't anticipate any problems as long as we don't have a major disaster or anything like that we're dealing with. Other than that, the office staff is good. We're keeping the doors open, almost coherent to the courthouse daily. We're set up to close at 3 o'clock. That doesn't necessarily mean we're leaving at 3 o'clock, but we're set up to close at 3 o'clock and get caught up with anything that we've done during that day and prepare for the next day or the next exercise. So I think we pretty well are staying open with the courthouse now. I don't anticipate any problems. I think that other than weather, which we can't predict, everything else will fall in line. The World Cup is going to take people from Region I. They're going to be sucked up to the Kansas City area starting in about a week and a half. And they'll be set up on many, many command centers up there. I don't think, no matter what happens up there, that we will have to deploy, my office will have to deploy. What we will have to do is set up, and run some operations here that we normally wouldn't be involved in because of the manpower. Brett is probably going to be deployed there at some time, after it first starts, and he may be there the whole duration. So, and that's the same with our troopers and most of law enforcement. You're going to get a report from the sheriff, I'm sure, but most law enforcement have been asked to donate hours to the event. Now, it may be that nothing happens. It may be absolutely nothing happens, but all it takes is one small event, to put everybody in panic mode. And then when they go in panic mode, it'll be up to people like me and you to sell calm. A lot of people here do have tickets to go up there to that thing. I don't want to, I'm as close now as I want to be, period. I don't even like soccer. but that's just me. But a lot of folks in this area in Laclede County, city of Lebanon, do have the season ticket for up there. They give high dollars for. So it will affect some of our people. So our main game is to sell calm, you know, if something happens, other than the normal traffic jams and all that. But we have had several meetings, 4 or 5 meetings on prepping to help in the event there is, you know, a major problem up there. Just to let you know, we're there and ready. So I don't think I have any more questions. I know you've got a lot to do today.
Do they anticipate a lot of people south of us traveling through our
Yes.
area to get
What they anticipate, there are some vendors that are going to be up there from here that are selling Route 66 tours, which include downtown Lebanon. Okay, so they're going to take as much money from these foreigners as they can, you know, in cash. And so there will be van loads, you know, 10 to 14 people come down, walk through the streets of Lebanon, you know, Laclede County, drive through Route 66. I don't think anybody has a number of what that's going to be, but we're talking thousands of people are coming here from other countries, some of which we don't do normal business with, some of which do not speak English. So each one of those vans will have to have an interpreter. So interpreters are going to make a lot of money in about a 2-month period there. One deputy sheriff in another county and his wife are both interpreters, and they've already been hired every day starting next week for about 90 days. Part of their stuff is to come through our county and go all the way down to Pulaski and do a tour down there. So, you know, you're going to see some people walking around, I think, during that period that will have a leader and will have an interpreter. And hopefully everybody will behave.
Sure.
You know, they love to drink alcohol, these soccer guys. I mean, they love to drink alcohol, a lot of it. So some of the local bars, I think, are kind of gearing up for that. And everybody wants a piece of that money, you know, that's coming in. And the deal is, when these people come, typically they bring cash, United States dinero, and a lot of it. And they don't care to spend it. So, but I could go on and on and on about the tales of what could go on, but hopefully there won't, you know, the negativeness. Did that answer your question? Okay. Joe, did you have anything pertaining to that?
No, sir, I don't believe I do.
I have no questions.
Okay.
We appreciate your report, and when you hear anything else that you need us to be aware of, please share that.
I will. I'll keep you up.
Yeah.
I'll, as I gain information on that, as it gets closer, I'm sure I'll get stuff every day.
Okay.
I won't bother you with it unless I think it's going to pertain to our area. And if it does, then you'll be the first to know.
Okay.
First.
And we do have the flag for next Tuesday, is that correct?
We have the flag set, Joe and I, for next Tuesday at 9:30 a.m.
9:30 next Tuesday.
I have notified the one bank,
Mhm.
and the one bank is going to provide, I think he told me 6 employees.
Okay.
And they're going to take care of the meal
For the fire.
again
Mhm.
for the firefighters.
Okay. Have you already gotten with fire on the ladder truck then?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had that for a couple of weeks since you and I talked.
You bet. Okay.
Yeah. 9:30 is the best time for them. So if you can, will that work out for you at 9:30?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Looking forward to it.
Very good.
All right, Randy, thank you.
Okay.
Okay,
Most welcome.
all right.
I'll probably hang around for a couple of minutes.
Sure.
And then we'll get.
Ryan, welcome to your first monthly update. What do you have to share with the commission this
Yes,
morning?
sir. Good morning, guys.
Bet.
Appreciate the time to be able to speak to you guys. So since this is my first one, I kind of had a little bit of difficulty trying to figure out exactly what you guys would want. However, I just kind of pieced together what I felt like was the highlights of what we have going on in the center. Call volume and dispatch, just a very brief. We're year to date as of yesterday, as of 9 a.m. was 21,000 calls, just slightly over 21,000 calls. We're averaging about 2 dispatchers per shift that are fully trained. We have a lot in the pipeline to be released within a relatively short time. We just hired one, and then we have one that is due to be hired within this week after we work out a few details. That would put us at full staff at the current staffing levels provided by the commission. We just released 2 more yesterday at our dispatch staff meeting. The dispatch supervisors felt that they had hit that limit. We have released them on our side of the probationary side. Records, as of last month, they made 292 entries into the mule system, 191 validations. That's with 2.5 employees. Operations, we have ongoing FCC issues. It was going to be compliance issues that were out of date. We are working towards that. It is due to be completed by July 1st. We should have the paperwork and everything.
I think so.
Oh.
Put that on your list.
And I've been working really closely with Randy on that, and we should be fully compliant by July 1st. Continual issues with the Brightspeed phone lines. We have escalated to the highest people that we can. They're in the process of trying to get that fixed. It is affecting the Nebo Falcon 911 lines. It is still working. I want the public to know that. We have fail safes for this exact reason, but we're just waiting for Brightspeed to be able to get that under control. We do have a voluntary mules audit with the Missouri State Highway Patrol on June 11th. This will let us know where we are, if we're in compliance, out of compliance. That way we know how to progress for the actual mules audit, which will be next year. We are implementing a comp time policy. I'm sure you guys will be very happy to hear that. And I can show you the overview if you would like. Call volume remains steady. Dispatch staff is stable with trainees in the pipeline. I feel that we're going to be able to get that comp time under control very shortly. Records workload is constant at current staffing levels, and we're ongoing focus on infrastructure reliability to go with the soccer stuff getting ready to go on. Several of our applications have built-in things for the foreign phone numbers that potentially could come in an emergency. That was not anything that we did. That was just something that automatically comes through. Something I would love to share with you guys today with my value to you guys whenever I came in is we were going to create our own identity within the center. This is at no cost to the public. This was generated by one of our very awesome employees, Mr. Neal. That will be our new identity. That is our new logo for the center. We have created a new motto: 1 call, 1 community, 1 mission. And here is our new mission statement, if you guys would like to read that as well. My commitment for you guys is I wanted to continue that separation to show that we are our own entity, and that will complete that, as well as advancing into a few of the minor stuff. But again, that was at $0. We paid nothing for that to happen. And that is all I have.
Okay, do we have any questions for Ryan?
Did I hear you say you've got 2 new hires?
We just hired one, and one is due to be hired within this week. That is correct.
And are they brand new, or
Brand
do they have, okay.
No background.
Yes, sir. Which is sometimes better.
No bad habits.
That's right.
Not always. We love lateral transfers as well, but
Sure.
Okay, do we have any other questions for Ryan?
Don't believe I do.
Okay, Ryan, thank you for that. Erik, did you have anything? No. Okay, thank you for that update. Okay, next we'll go to maintenance. Good morning, Mike.
Kind kinda got you a summary of what we done this month, so everybody got any questions, you always remind yourself of what we've been going on, but our project with the master gardeners is going well, getting a lot of good comments on the looks out there.
Flowers out there, I noticed them this morning. They
Yeah, I
do
still
look
got a
nice.
little edging to do, like a few little touch-ups yet, but it's coming along well. I'm well pleased with what it looks like. And, we've had a problem over there at the annex building with the roof holding water underneath the foam. We pumped out at least a couple thousand gallons of water from underneath that foam. When you walked on that roof, it was like a waterbed. Ivy Roofing has come and patched it, a temporary patch. So sometime in the future, we need to start thinking about what we're going to do with that roof over there. Me and Randy's talked a little bit about it. Starting to power wash into all the sidewalks and all that, so we can get all the concrete sealed before winter time comes. Our salt spreader did come in finally. We got it put together and made a hanging system over there in our shop, so we can still pack right underneath of it. Had some issues with the softener again. It's losing its program when we've had these power outages. So we've got it back running the way it's supposed to be running, and we've got it on a battery backup. We took one of our old battery backups, bought a couple batteries, and we built it, and so for hardly nothing, we got that fixed. We've had more water leaks over in the sheriff's department from the iPod showers. That's been an ongoing issue for years. We've got some bids that the sheriff's department wants to see if why we're doing the floors, and we've got everything torn apart, if we could almost get in there and repair or rebuild those showers to stop those leaks. Might be a good time to try to coordinate that. We had Tex Electronics here for that area refuge phone. I think we finally got to troubleshoot it. Still has to do with a phone number, they say. Our flag lights were stuck on out there, had to replace the contactor. Basic jail stuff, flush valves in the jail, lights in the cells, sinks clogged, water leaks. Then we finished up that little office space over there. Got Dana moved, Lacey moved into her new spot. We got Becky's office moved around and reorganized and built some shelves and got that going. Had a smoke alarm, it's a RTU3, just able to get in there and replace that. RTU 6 and 4 had Gold Mechanical to troubleshoot a few issues on them, got them resolved, and knock on wood at this moment, I have no alarms. All the air conditioning is running. Our next issue is going to be with that is the communication systems that the Spire controls. They no longer make those. The new upgrade for those is going to be pretty expensive. We're looking in the next couple of years, we will have to replace those. So we will be looking probably between the $80,000 and $90,000 range. But we need to have that on our radar because, like I said, those controllers are phased out. And the new ones can require a special communication wire that you just cannot buy anywhere. So that's going to be the issue with that. You have to run all new cables to communicate with the new thermostats.
And there's Not any wireless technology that any company offers?
I have not looked into that, but I will. But I will.
Yeah.
I have another communications, company that would like to come give us a bid on that. So,
I would ask you to pursue that to whatever end it may result in, but I would think wireless technology could very well be available. And so
yeah, we,
it would, yeah, but I think right now it sounds to me like Mike's just gathering information,
Yeah.
preparation for
yes, we're
a couple years
just
down the
putting it
road.
on our radar because we know those controllers are being phased out.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. So,
I mean, the co-ops have meters, the water district has meters. You know, we have all kinds of wireless technology in our homes.
but we're going to the wireless technology for our tower chemicals.
Yeah.
That should be installed this
Yeah.
month. I think all the parts are here, and that will actually tell us if we have a issue with water leaks. We're running, X amount of gallons, and we should only be running this somewhere in the building. There's a leak. That will send us an alarm to our phone, and we'll be able to check that out. But right now we've had the chemicals in there doing well. But we're going to the dry chemical. We're going to move that inside in the basement, and there's no contamination. It's safe to put around electrical, and it's much safer to be around. We won't have these 5 gallons of pouring and stuff floating around and being handled. So, looking forward to that. So we'll have that. We've got the water there. We've got the electrical there for it. We're just about prepared. We've got a little bit of plumbing to run, some PCT, for that project. So, of course, all the stuff in the jail, and fog sinks and flush valves and all that, and daily stuff that we do. So,
Do you have an approximate start date for the jail close?
I should know that here. He's finishing up a project in St. Louis right now, and I think he has a little small school project that he's doing, and then hopefully I'm trying to set him up a meeting with him as soon as he gets a free day, where we can plan on the start date, and we'll get with Jack over at the jail and figure out where we're going to start and how we're going to start. So I've got half his paperwork in. I'm just waiting for the E-Verify, and his insurance company should be emailing his certificate of insurance. We're getting close to getting that figured out and what day we're going to start.
Okay, do we have any additional questions for Mike?
No, sir.
Okay, seeing none, Mike, I appreciate that report. You're welcome to stay, or you probably have a lot to do, so thank you for that report.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm going to rearrange the next item on the agenda, which was Road and Bridge Department update, but since we'll be taking a road trip after we conduct business, we'll do your update prior to that road trip, okay? And so at this point, I would ask the ladies from MU, I'll give them the floor, and they always have a designated speaker, and I'll let Miss Allison or Miss Crystal.
Crystal stepped up.
No.
Oh, my.
Crystal.
She told you. So the newest thing that I was going to mention is since our elections in February, we have gotten 3 new council members. Thank you, Joe. We got Greg and Carrie Miller. Wonderful. And Clint Matthews, is that his last name? Has joined us. So we're almost up to a full council. We're getting getting closer. We did push the open house to the fall. We're gonna try to put that, together with the Good Neighbor Week activity and also put it in line with the Cackle Hatchery event that they have every year. June 15th, you guys are invited to a meeting that they're having in Sedalia, if you would like to come. They had one in Hickory County, back in April, but they're having a second one and it's in Sedalia, and the folks from campus are coming and talking. If you want details on that, I can give it to you. And Anna Maria, I never can say her last name right. Yeah, see, we all do that. They own Sun and Bloom Farms, and so she is really wanting to get more classes going here in the county, and she's been a big advocate for that. And so she reached out to all of the specialists that we have, and she's getting better feedback from them than I would get from them as far as coming and doing some classes here. So she's trying to work on setting up a series of different classes. If you guys have any suggestions on classes that you would like to see, whether it's around health and wellness or ag related, let us know. And then the other good news that I have is the human development position is posted. It's open and posted. I'm meeting with Carrie after this. She's got a lot of good ideas for helping us promote it. So I'm gonna meet with her and hopefully we can get a good candidate for that. It will stay open until it's full. So if you know anybody who has a background in human development or health and wellness, anything like that, please let us know and we can push them towards that position. And then I will let listen.
So my report from our last council meeting is on the sheet that Crystal shared with you guys. What I really wanted to highlight is the work that I'm going to start doing in the school this year. We're going to do summer school with Boswell, 4th and 5th grade. I'm going to do some STEM activities with them. So that's science, technology, engineering, mathematics, but really basic for those 4th and 5th grade kids. I have a kit that is, it's solar bugs is what they are. They have a little solar panel. We'll put that together, we take it outside and they kind of move around, and so it'll be fun for those kids to be able to work with their hands and put that stuff together. And then we're going to talk about why are bugs important, because kids either love or hate bugs, and so we're going to talk about why are there so many and what is their purpose and that kind of thing. I'm also working with the summer camp kiddos at the YMCA every Wednesday starting June 24th, running through mid-August. So that'll be some good, a different avenue to promote 4-H and get some exposure for our program and what we do to those kiddos. Of course, the usual summer 4-H things, fairs, and some day camps and that kind of thing is going on as well. Another really cool thing that I'm doing is working with Laura Garten with Fostering Hope. On June 12th, we're doing an On My Own financial readiness simulation. You guys are invited to come to that or help with that if you'd like. I do need a few volunteers. The way that works, I have 10 different stations. And so the kids, when I go in, everybody gets a packet. And in their packet, they have like a check register. They have a job that they're assigned and their monthly salary. And their goal is to go to each of these 10 stations and not spend more money than they have for the month. And so this gives them kind of a little taste of what real life and adulting is like. And I wanted to thank you guys for putting up the Friendship Club poster out here in the hallway. I think it looks fantastic. So thank you guys for that.
I shared this with the council last week, and I'll share it with you guys as well. 4-H, at the campus level, they have changed significantly as what the expectations for the 4-H people on the field. And so used to, it was all just clubs and volunteerism and all of that kind of stuff. Well, now they're really trying to meet the kids where they're at. And so they're really wanting 4-H to get into the schools. So Leslie has been given that task on top of everything else that she's tasked with. And she's done a really good job. It's taken some time to build that relationship with the schools and get in there, but she's doing really good with that. And then Ashley Blaine is the opposite. She was in the schools and was doing all of that, and now hers is more so being pushed to, being with adults, with kids and things like that. She's covering Dallas County as well after the Big Beautiful Bill and all the snap cuts and everything, but her report is on the back. And she's doing really well too. She's busy for the summer. Do you have anything else to add about Ashley, that we know of.
Okay, I have a question on the 4-H, what I just heard. So Leslie will be more engaged in going to schools or wherever. That's what I heard. So will there be more, and that will not dilute your time for working with club leaders maybe? So that will shift maybe a little bit more onto the club leaders in a way?
It may give them just a little bit more responsibility. I still try to go, as it is, I try to go to, we have 4 clubs that are active and meeting in the county, and I try to attend each of their monthly meetings to give them any updates or help their volunteers in any way I can at those meetings. And so my goal is still to try to do that, but my days may be filled a little bit more with going into classrooms and that kind of thing.
You know how it is,
But,
do more with less time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So my evenings will still probably be spent with
The same.
volunteers and that
Busier
kind of thing
days.
like I'm doing, but some of my days may be spent in the classroom a little bit more.
It could be during school or after
After
school,
school.
things like that.
Very good. Do we have anything else for MU?
Don't believe I do at this
Seeing
time.
none. All right, you ladies have anything else for us? Is your building okay? Building's working out good?
They're in it every
Okay.
day, they can speak more to it.
Okay, good.
Wait for the one of the ACs to get fixed, but
And then I
I'm
guess,
still comfortable for now. Yeah.
anything we can do to help promote MU, please let us know. I think that's something that MU Extension's working on, is to make yourself more visible. And so we have that shared commitment to, here in Laclede County, to put MU out there to the best of our ability, MU Extension. So if you have ideas that we can tag along with, please let us know. And if you have any ideas on using that space out there where we did put the 4-H poster, long term, my thoughts have been that we would make that available to the Historical Society to be able to place items and rotate those in a way so as people come in, they would be able to observe some of the history of Laclede County. But until we get some glass showcases built there someday, if you have ideas on how you could use that without it becoming a bulletin board, but to promote MU that's going on in the county, so it wouldn't be like just, you know, like here's a Master Gardener flyer and here's a 4-H flyer. That I would not recommend. But if you had a theme for a month that you could bring a header over, I would ask the commission to consider that, because there's a lot of traffic comes through that door, and as we get closer to the tax season, there will be a lot more traffic come through that door. And if that would help promote visibility of MU Extension in Laclede County, I think we would be willing to pursue that. So if you have some ideas, be thinking about that.
October would be really good, right? Because that's when they sign up.
Yeah, our 4-H enrollments start October 1st, so maybe we could put something together for the month of October to kind of showcase some of the things, you know, this is what 4-H looks like in this county, these are the clubs you can join, and something like that maybe.
Yeah, okay. All right, when you have something put together, if you'd like to present that, it'd be welcome, okay?
Thank you.
I'm not creative like that, so it's gonna be things.
All right, unless there's any other questions, then ladies, thank you very much for the update, and I guess we want to try and do this on a quarterly basis, so just let us know when your next opportunity would be on your schedule, Allison. We'll work in on a Tuesday, okay?
Thank you.
All right,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
You guys.
Okay, we're still going to hold off off on Road and Bridge. We've got a couple of items that we need to take up. First thing we need to take up is the library board appointments. And according to Robert's Rules of Orders, I need a motion to made to take from the table this so we can bring it back up for discussion.
Motion to take from the table back to library board appointment.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
You have a motion second to take from the table the library board appointments. Now we're all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. I'm an aye on that. Motion approved. All right, so now we had two letters of interest, so I'll bring that back up for discussion.
Good job.
We had two very good qualified candidates. This was not an easy decision for me. At the end of the day, I can't get past the 32 years of experience and passion for kids, reading, literacy. My vote's going to go for Dr. Sheila Moore.
And that's probably where I will be as well. I think I'm going to go for Miss Sheila Moore as well, with some of the phone calls and people I'd talked to and a few things and some stuff. Visited with both candidates, interviewed both of them a little bit, and I believe I would also go for Miss Sheila Moore.
Is there a motion?
I make a motion to appoint Dr. Sheila Moore to the library board.
I would second that motion for Sheila Moore to the library board.
Okay, there's a motion, a second to on the table to appoint Sheila Moore to the library board. Any discussion? Okay, I will have something to say. Recognizing that we have two very qualified individuals that have expressed an interest, I cannot concur with the apparent decision of the majority of the commission. I respect what they do, and I respect the individual that they are in support of, but in good conscience, I cannot let go of the fact that we have a lady that served on the library board, that their family for generations served this community. This individual came back to our community after a career, decided to come back to her hometown and contribute and to give back. And after one term on the library board, I don't feel it's necessary to replace a good library board member who, by all the research and the conversations I have had, has fulfilled her willingness to serve faithfully, has the time to do it, has asked to continue to do it. And so we're replacing an individual that's done a very good job with an individual that we know will do a very good job. But in good conscience, I just can't sweep one away and bring another one on when I have an individual that is fulfilling their obligations. So respectfully to my peers here, I can't concur with your decision, but it will be the decision, it sounds like, of the commission. I would just ask in the future that this will be handled a little differently. And I think I have some responsibility in that, to make sure that when we get applications in, and a friend of mine talked to me the other day and said maybe when we get these in, we give them a week or so to be vetted. You know, if there's ever a time where we don't have individual conversations, but we want to bring people in and interview them or vet them for these boards, which I think are important positions in our community, whether it's the library board or other boards that we appoint to. Perhaps that needs to be considered because maybe we're hearing different things. What I'm hearing is the lady that currently serves has done a very good job, and so I will probably do something I've never done before. In good conscience, I can't vote against Miss Moore. I've known the family for years. I have a lot of respect for the family. So I can't vote against her, but I cannot, in good faith, vote to eliminate the other individuals. So I'm going to do something I've never done before. When the vote's called for, I'm going to abstain and let the will of the majority speak. But I want to be on record that I think we're a little misguided in trying to suggest that a person that's done a very good job after one term does not deserve to be able to stay on there. So having said my piece, if there's no further discussion, I've had a motion and a second for Dr. Moore. I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
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 I abstain, Linda. Okay, next order of business will be senior tax freeze. So the application deadline was last Friday. The numbers that were given to me this morning, I'll recite after we take up the applications that have come in from last time. We'll need to approve those. So Joe, what do you have there?
I have 68 here total that came in, so I'd make a motion to accept these 68.
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion second to approve applications totaling 68 that would wrap up the application process for the current senior tax freeze. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, same sign. Now with that, we had 2,380 renewals. We had 23 individuals that were deceased that obviously could not renew. We had 60 homes that were sold. We had one house that was torn down, and we have 5 that their 25 taxes were not paid. So we had the 2380 plus, I believe, 281, and that would be the total, to the best of my knowledge, the math I have this morning, of the senior applications that have been processed through Laclede County and approved by the commission. Okay, next order of business, I'll go back. Well, let me take up any general county business, gentlemen.
No, sir.
Seeing none, okay, public comments items listed on the agenda. Seeing none, we'll go to routine business.
This is because she has 2 places she's going.
And did you have a chance to look over the warrants that were paid since the last meeting?
I don't know if I did. I don't know if I had any in my basket. Or if it,
May not have been. I thought there were a few in there, Erik, but
I'm gonna have to say no.
okay. Public comments items not listed on the agenda. Okay. Seeing none, then we will go back to road and bridge update. Good morning, Jerrod.
Good morning, sir. When I come back up there, that's.
You can do whatever you're more
I'll stay right here.
comfortable with.
That's all
Okay.
right.
Okay.
It's been a while since we've been back. Thank you for having me here today, give you updates. Thank you for what you do for the county. I know we stay in contact a lot. There's always a lot to be covered with road and bridge, and I know you get a lot of phone calls. And man, we have had a wet spring, haven't we? Storms. So, we have been trying to stay up as best we can. And I do think I want to brag on my crew a little bit. As you've heard before, I do have a good crew. I'm appreciative of the crew. We have stopped the revolving door at the road and bridge, I think. We haven't been able to see that for about the last 10 months or so. We're pretty full, except we do have one still on workers' comp. That's kind of got me strapped a little bit down on manpower, but doing the best I can to move on. Some of the big updates you just doesn't know, but I mean, and the public knows, but definitely want to get this on the record, that Kentucky Bridge project that we've been working on. The bridge is done. Concrete the bill was turned in. I am happy with that. I don't know if you got a chance to look at that. It come in under originally bid, so we was able to save money there. So like I said, as a county, I think we ought to be very pleased with that. We was able to save. I know he turned that in, Mr. Tyler did, and but I ain't gonna speak on record to know exactly, but I know it come in under. So it is not. I'll just be honest with you, for the record too. I did not like the full outcome of how that turned out, but I had to work with what I had. The creek, the road, and the product that was purchased, all right? But it is, I don't know, have you had a chance to go look at it?
I have not.
Like I said, I've got some pictures I will show you, but the concrete part's done. I still got a little fine tuning on some rock there, and I've also laying some riprap along the creek bed there of the landowner, Mr. Austin Schulte, that worked with us very well.
Yes.
For quite a time, and so pleased with that because we was met with a little bit of pushback, but Mr. Schulte was not, and so I ensured him that I would do everything I could to build that creek bank up a little bit to keep from water eroding into his field, because I had to shift that box a little bit, that bridge. So like I said, and I got a little bit of grading, finished dirt work grading, just to make sure all my drainage is taking place out of his field there from where we have done this work. I did touch base with him, since we did have a little corner there where we spent a lot of time working with equipment. I said, hey, what we need to do about this seed and this grass back? Well, you've helped us. Let's continue this good, leave here on a good note. The conversation was, I want to let you know, me and him decided to revisit that in October, because that's when you want to plant grass if it needs it. We might not need to do nothing. It might spread on up, but we will revisit that in October. What's going on over there? If I need to purchase a little bit of seed and stuff, every time. So very pleased, like I said, working with that individual landowner out there. While our equipment, the last week we was there, of course you know that too, but we had batteries stowed out of 2 pieces of equipment. So we did get new batteries installed. Equipment is moved down there. But like I said, it's a shame that individuals has to steal from county, but that's where we was at. But taking all avenues to eliminate that, as much as possible, and everything. But the batteries are not cheap. I mean, we're looking at a little over $700 for 3 batteries. So, I mean, that is a costly deal for the county. Like I said, we have been busy. I've been trying to get back with all the phone calls and water damage as best I can. I know you guys keep me up as best we can. Seems like everybody is very understanding because they know and everything. And I tell everybody, I said, I appreciate you calling me in. I got you wrote down. It will be addressed, in a timely manner, because I've got a list I'm kind of working off of. Did get my first order of pipe in. So since we have this is gonna be my major project throughout the summer months now, once we especially get in this dry time. Be concentrating on a lot of cross pipes, change outs, and failed driveway pipes. I've actually got locates in now on some driveway pipes that I've just not been able to actually get back to because of the storm stuff right now. But I'm focusing on, like I said, I've got the first load of 4 loads of pipe coming in. So I will be full on pipe, but that's what I needed. I addressed that during budget time to you all, that we have multiple pipe failures. Can't do it all in 1 year. Ain't gonna be happening. It's gonna be a continued process for a lot of years. But we have a lot of pipe failures in the county here. Actually, I visited, was one you called, let me know about Mr. Pruitt yesterday. Contacted him, had a good conversation. Same things, he knows it's been that way for a lot of years. But so I told him, I said, we're gonna be progressing at this as much as I can to, stay up on it, but it's gonna take time to get everything changed out. Yeah. So we was able to get the conservation rock hauled in the midst of all this other stuff going on. So there was 37 loads that went to Rustic, 62 Sassafras, 25 to Canary, 140 some loads to Kinfolk. And so a lot of the county don't know, but for a record, this is Conservation Department works with us with a good reimbursement. We lay the rock, they give us a total amount, and we was able to fulfill that this year, get it on the roads. So, which, like I said, roughly $34,775. So, something we definitely don't want to leave out there. We want to try to address it. I know there's further talks next year of doing a little bit deeper, and we'll try to get that wrapped up before, and I think that will, as we all agree, that's something we need to keep addressing and working on for, so I ain't gonna go into too much on that. So, do you guys have some questions for me? I do got Mr. Boyce here from Red Rivers. He's gonna spend the next 2 days with me. We're going to do a asphalt survey of our roads, of where they are right now, and where he's gonna give me some information, where he's gonna come up with a deal, and we're gonna work together to be able to grade our asphalt roads and what will be helpful for a county. You got anything to add to that, sir?
No, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad I was able to get here on a Tuesday and Wednesday, so you guys could join if you'd like. Yeah, we're gonna hit. I'm assuming that we're gonna go one side today and the other side tomorrow. We'll do a pretty comprehensive. We'll get out, take some photos. We can drive along fairly slowly to get through 30 miles. It's gonna take us a full day today and tomorrow. I'll finish up here, and then I'll go back and I'll write a report, put together a map for you. My intention is to get you to your good, your fair, and your poor, and give you some general recommendations on what the cost would be to keep the fair roads fair, keep the good roads good, and then a little bit further discussion on if we find anything that's considered poor condition, what you would need to do to set aside some money to budget for an upgrade to that road. A lot of what I've seen, just driving around the last time I was here, what I've seen, most of your roads are in fair condition. So, budgetary wise, of course you want to keep them in fair condition. There's a lot of them out there that might be considered for an overlay that might not need one. You might be able to get by with a reclamite or a chip and seal and extend that pavement life for the next 10 years and be able to focus a little bit more on some of the poor roads as far as budgets go. I'll come up with a cost analysis. I'll work with Jerrod, and I'll have that to you probably in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, so are we doing west or east today?
West.
Okay, I will be joining you.
Perfect.
So once we leave here, just for the media, there may be more than one of us go.
Right.
We will adjourn the meeting, and this is just a department meeting with no decisions being made. So just on record, Jack will adjourn here. We've taken up the business that come before us today. And then, 1, 2, or 3 of us may be out here the rest of the day and tomorrow riding around in appraising these roads, okay? Anything for next week's agenda before we do the flag? Is there anything that you know of right now that?
Not right offhand, no, sir.
Okay. All right. So Linda, you have anything else for us? Okay. Final call? Okay. All right. Then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.